Welcome on in, everybody. So, I have more footage of this Greatsword Firestaff build. Honestly, it's so much fun, and it's a little bit OP. I actually think it's a little bit OP. The build is literally broken in the sense that the Firestaff burns don't scale properly from strength. So, yeah, this thing will get buffed when they fix it, which is awesome. And that Greatsword does not need any buffs. Let's just put it that way. Either way, I've got a lot of footage for you guys today. There is a full build video guide linked down below if you guys want to see that. And if you guys have some awesome clips that you want to see in the New World Top 5 fights, feel free to send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. Let's get into that PvP commentary. A little bit of the intro there, getting a few nice kills on the back line. And then let's get into the first clip here, just fighting against this tank. I love Greatsword heavy attacks, man. Just so OP against somebody holding block like this. And this guy is running a purely defensive high health tank build, so he can't actually do enough damage to me to do anything to stop me. And we just wail on him until he goes down. And then I back out and nobody chases me. So you guys know the first thing I want to do is jump right back in there. Actually big damage with the burnout into Fireball. One player dropping fairly low health there. But I decide not to stick it out because, you know, there's like 10 of them in the stack. And I get to some cover here. And the blunderbuss player, he chases me around the corner. I get that heavy attack, go for the spin through. And it looks like we got 4 players coming around. I throw the fireball, go for the burn out through. Good damage on them there. I get the incinerate. 2 players hit by that incinerate. And then I try to land that heavy attack into the calamity counter. This guy, I get great damage as he comes back up into the heavy. There's the cross cut. He dodges the end of it with his ultimate. We get the killing blow, but his hatchet passive saves him. And there's one more heavy attack there. And gotta love Fireball, man. Oh, no aim needed. Just a huge splash of AoE. We managed to take him down. And then I try to get behind the other ranged players here. And oh man, the ranged meta today, guys. I hope that new OPR map has much tighter terrain, because I feel like that's a huge part of why ranged is so strong. And oh man, 2 players going down to that combo on the stack. So much damage with the fire staff. And that's where this build doesn't disappoint with the fire staff. The upfront damage is still great. It's just that burning damage that lets us down. I haven't tried out Backdraft yet, but I think that's the answer from a bit of testing I did in PvE and crunching some numbers. It looks very promising. But it's more about how often will I be able to actually land those heavies in the gameplay. Anyway, back to the gameplay here. I get back up top. I go for the burnout through. And look at that. I did great damage. Managed to take some players down. Those guys squirrel out of the keep. And we move on to our next clip. There's that nasty heavy attack into crosscut. And those squishy backline range players, man, they die right away to it. From 100 to 0, he goes down before he can even roll. Then we jump on the next guy, but unfortunately, he's got that hatchet, so he's not going to go down as quickly. And he gasses his stamina. I'll take advantage of that. We go for the heavy attacks. He tries to trade with his hatchet. We get a lot more damage into him than he gets into me. But then he retreats again and gets some heals up, and more enemy players coming in. And I know that that means I need to get to some cover here because the OPR map is way too open. Seriously, AGS. That's my criticism, and I hope the thing we see with the new OPR map, we want it to be a little bit better terrain, but oh my god, man, that 6k slap on the heavy attack. I don't even know what to say. Greatsword is just gross. Oh, it's actually so funny. Okay, moving on to the next clip. Again, hanging out in the enemy outpost. This is basically all I do in OPR. I just love going to the enemy side, seeing what kind of fights I can get into. Most of the time I just die, and sometimes I pick up a kill like on that ranged player there. I go for the burnout, actually get some pretty decent damage on these guys, with a friendly player coming in to try to do some damage too, but everybody retreats into the middle. The friendly just dives in. That's fine. He's a lot tankier than me, I'm assuming, so I'm just gonna stay up top here and see if I can lure anybody up here. Looks like we've got a Firestaff player on the left. I go for the burnout to see if we can sneak on top of him. Unfortunately, he stops moving forward, and yeah, that was, you know, the positioning was great on my part. That's all I can say. We do land that heavy attack into the crosscut, though. Good damage on him. The fireball lands as well, and there are my disappointing burns, showing us why the Inferno definitely needs a different option than these burns. I don't know. Unless Amazon is going to fix it, it seems like we got to fix this ourselves, guys. The hammer player comes up and he starts trading heavies with me, which is an indication that he's usually a pretty tanky boy, and he doesn't do a ton of damage with them, but I'm not doing much damage to him either. kind of awkward. I just slid off the edge loading that heavy. So we come back up, and this guy here is just blasting our friendlies. We can't have that. We go for the spin through him. I don't land the spin, but there's the crosscut. Oh my god, 7k damage on that crosscut. Dude, crosscut is just so strong. I don't have any other words than that. I turn around, try to get some damage on that ranged player. I don't want to run there because if I stand up there, it's kind of right in sight of everybody else here. I would rather bomb the back of the stack like that. We get the spin on this guy. I go for the heavy into the crosscut, but too many heals coming down. Good damage on a lot of guys in the stack there, and it works to lure people up into our spot here. I just retreat a little bit, throw down the fireball, go for the incinerate, and I managed to get the calamity counter up just before he hits me with too much void blade damage. Drop down behind here, huge damage on that spin. I think they both crit on him, and there is that crazy ass greatsword healing. All I can say is, like, greatsword has so much healing baked into it. We have specced into healing on this build big time. We have got so much capability to brawl as a light armor player. I think it's kind of crazy. Like, I love playing rapier, which has just the flurry if you run the perk for it for healing. So this is a whole nother level of having healing on a melee weapon for me. And this guy, he follows me up again, just trying to trade with that void blade. I get good damage with the crosscut though, but we roll out right away. We don't want to trade past that. And he goes back up here, burnout through this guy. I go for the incinerate. It does knock him kind of off the edge, but he's chasing down the friendly. I decide not to drop down, but then another enemy player jumps on the friendly there, and he ends up going down. So I get one heavy attack, two heavy attacks into the fireball. Ah, yeah, I land those attacks. He actually goes down from the upfront damage on the fire staff. And then this guy comes up with a void blade. He tries to throw a bit of damage in, but I get the block again. He ends up doing a good job just blocking it though, dodging out of the way. And then I return in with the fireball. He ends up retreating into the back there. And I'm just gonna, I guess, pick on more targets in the middle here. I come down, just start loading up the heavy attack on this guy. Don't fully let the heavy attack go, which was a huge mistake. He just gassed his stamina, and that could very much have been a kill there. But that's okay, mistakes are made. I get up the top here, I land a bit of damage with the burnout, and he gets into the healing circle, so I decide not to try to pursue that anymore. And just kind of move my way along the top. I get blasted by a lot of range damage here. Going back across the way after getting blasted, maybe not the best idea, but that's okay. We've got enough healing power to make it work. And then this guy comes up here. I do eat the scream, but we land the incinerate. And man, I just didn't get to the counter there. They had me on both sides, actually. I think I did get the counter, but the guy behind me had the hatchet and just chewed me up. Down I go. Moving on to the next clip, we go for the burnout onto this guy who was manning the siege, into the spin, and an almost 7k heavy attack. Oh my god, greatsword, guys. Greatsword is just something else. Oh man, again, if you guys want to see this build video, I don't have it in this video, but there's a full video breakdown as well as a written guide linked down below. So you guys can see exactly what I'm running, and I make a huge mistake here. I don't have the mana to cast Incinerate, and instead of switching to the Greatsword and sealing a kill or two with my 2 Greatsword skills that I had ready, I freaking jump off the edge. Oh my gosh. That's okay. Another mistake was made. We're going to do our best to keep learning from them. I go back outside. There you see that 4.8k almost potion heal. I am not running Endless Thirst. That's how much healing power we have. Yeah, it's really nice, everybody. Anyway, I again take more damage, but we're gonna go in for the burnout on this guy here. I think I land a little bit of damage on him, but I decide not to stick next to it. Just get to cover right away because it's just me left in here, and oh my god, absolutely executed by the Greatsword. There we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.